I want to talk to you a little bit about growing in family, what we spoke on this week at church. Just it's so near and dear to my heart. I think, supplying for people's needs and finding out ways that God can use you to just really provide for people around you and what that looks like. We talked about the passage in Matthew 25 where Jesus says, whenever you did it for the least of these, you did it for me. And what attitude that brings along with it. When I was a young mom, it's hard because when kids are little, they ask for drinks like 23 hours a day, or they ask for snacks, or it's just really hard because you're so drained. I think for energy by that time. But I remember reading in one of my books. It was just a little devotional book. It was called Diapers, Pacifiers, and Other Holy Things. Right? So it was a really good book for me for devotionals because it was basically like a page and a half, which was great. But I remember it talking about this passage and just, when your 3-year-old is asking you again and again for stuff, what's your attitude behind it? Are you doing it as if you're doing it for Jesus? And it really touched me. It really changed my framework about how I serve and who I serve. And it was so incredibly powerful in my life. But feeding the hungry, giving water to those thirsty, clothing people, taking care of the sick, showing hospitality. Like these are practical things that we should be doing in our Christian walk. And this week I was really challenged. Our son and his wife are doing foster care, so I'm a foster grandma, which is really cool. But just like, how can we be involved in that? Right now we're doing some respite work for them while they're working during the day, but we're allowing time in our schedule, for God to ask us to do things. And I think that's really, really important, not to get so busy and so packed out in our to-do list, but allow time for God to really be able to have a spot to move in your life. If we keep rushing from thing to thing to thing, we're not allowing enough time to do the things that God might ask us to do. So I just really challenge you with that this week. What does your schedule look like? What do your finances look like? Do you need to be scaling back on some things so you can make room in your budget for needs for other people? And this week it was interesting because I'm driving down Midtown in the morning to pick up our little grand baby. And, there's needs all around. And I'm not a cash person. I use my debit card for everything. And God just said, you need to get some cash and be prepared for the people that I have in front of you. And so when a need arises, you need to be ready. So I have $5 bills with me. And when the need comes, I know I'm ready. I know that I have prepared for that. So I think that's something that God's been challenging me with this week. But pray for God to show you the needs around you and give you ideas for ways that you can help be involved for solving people's needs. And also, maybe it takes a small group to get together to really impact an area. So bring friends along with you. This is a really good thing. But how can we allow time for God to move? I encourage you not to have such a packed, busy, cramped schedule that there's no time left to do things. So I'm praying for you this week. I encourage you that this is just, God is moving. God is doing some pretty amazing things. And just be in prayer for our teachers this week as they're preparing for students, basically online. I know a lot of them are doing online for the first time. So just pray for the families, that God would give us all strength, that He would encourage us, that He is equipped us for this time, that there is no mistake that God is working, that He's moving, and that He's active. So thanks for your time and have a great day.